Class is in session. MLB hitting the book show Tuesday, August 26th. Ian Cameron with you. Connor Mack will be here in just a moment, and we are ready to break down the Tuesday MLB card. Before we get into that, just a reminder, if you missed it, we did week one college football hitting the book show. It is a monster marathon episode of the show, probably the longest college football edition of hitting the books we will do all season, because there's a lot more games on the Thursday and the Friday night, but we gave you almost 4 hours of college football previews for this weekend. So make sure you check that out. We hit all the Thursday games, all the Friday games, a vast majority of the Saturday games. The 2 games on Sunday and the Monday night are featuring Bill Belichick's college football coaching debut. So make sure you check out all of that if you haven't already. All right, let's get into Tuesday, MLB time. We will begin with Boston taking on Baltimore. We've got the Red Sox minus 120 road favorites, 8.5 the total, shaded to the over here in this game. We've got Lucas Giolito and Kyle Bradish back on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. It has been a long time since we have seen him toe the rubber for the Baltimore Orioles. He's obviously been out and for a very long period of time, and we will see how he fares here in his return after that elbow injury that he sustained, making his season debut here tonight. 4.91 ERA in 22 innings, 6 rehab starts. We'll see how he fares through 89 pitches in his last rehab start. So they expect a normal workload for him. He's certainly a guy that has shown glimpses here at the big league level. We'll see how he fares in this. Lucas Giolito for the Boston Red Sox has, started to pitch a little bit better for them here in the last month or so. 3.73 ERA overall, but a lot of his better outings have been of late. He's given up 1 run in 3 of his last 5 starts. His last outing against the Yankees wasn't great. He had to labor through it a bit. 3 runs, 5 hits, 4.2 innings, but the Red Sox were able to win that game 6-3. The Red Sox are actually 4-1 in Giolito's last 5 starts entering this one. But I think when you look at it, it's going to be a stay-off game for me. I thought Baltimore was in a decent spot last night, catching Boston off the Sunday night baseball series finale against the Yankees. Big rivalry, big series. And Baltimore couldn't take advantage of it. They fall 4-3. Giolito, we'll see how he fares. But, Bradish is not someone I want to back until I see how he performs here. I must admit those rehab numbers, they're not great. They're not great. When you're talking about a guy that's got a 4.91 ERA in his rehab starts, that's not exactly comforting. So it's going to be a stay-away game for me here when it comes to the Red Sox and the Orioles. C-Mac is going to be with us here in just a moment. In the meantime, we'll move on to Atlanta and Miami. We've got the Braves and Marlins. We've got Hunter Waldrep for the Braves and Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. Atlanta minus 135, road favorites, 8 the total. Marlins get the job done last night, 2-1. We mentioned Miami. I mentioned Miami at the end of the college football show yesterday that thought they'd be worth a look in that spot. Hurston Waldrep has actually been very solid here for Atlanta. Back-to-back games where he is not allowed a run against the Guardians and the White Sox, working on a 13-inning shutout streak. And in fact, in his last 19 innings over his last 3 starts, he's only given up 1 run. So he has been absolutely terrific here for the Braves. We'll see if he can keep it going. Sandy Alcantara's been good of late, much better, certainly. He's had a couple of rough starts, but more good than bad. He was terrific in his last outing against St. Louis, 7 innings, only given up 2 runs. Could this be an under? It certainly was last night. A low-scoring game between these 2 teams, and certainly 2 pitchers right now that are in good enough form where runs could be at a premium here tonight. So I would lean under, but I did not make a bet here on this game either. C-Mac is with us now.
Yeah.
First 2 games, Boston, Baltimore, Atlanta, Miami. What do you think?
Yeah. Boston, Baltimore, I am off. There. It's going from 9 to 8.5 the total. I'm going to stay off with Bradish on the first start. I just got to stay off. These guys are making their start, I just don't know what we're going to get.
Yep.
And he hasn't looked great,
Yep.
In his rehab starts. So this is the Marlins here. It's just the Marlins again. I want the under. I haven't bet either of these, I mean, most spots it open 7.5 and 8. I mean, it hasn't moved. Braves have such, they've been shut down at times by Alcantara, but they've hit him. They've seen him a ton over the years. You know what I mean? There's some really guys in this line, Albies, Ozuna, Acuna, that have hit him hard. He's looked a lot better, especially the second half. He still had some blips, but the last start was good. And Waldrop, like, I finally think, is he going to get maybe hit a little bit here? Road start versus the Marlins, I think he could. So this is the Marlins, and yeah, I lean to the under in this game. I just didn't pull the trigger. I'm close. I want the Marlins here again. Waldrop, big guy.
Lean that way too. But I do respect Waldrop's pitching well, really, really well here for Atlanta. So that's the only reason I did not take.
I mean, he's been dominating, not just. I mean, shit.
Yeah,
and he just started against him, 2 weeks ago, where he went 6 innings. Yeah, I think he didn't give up anything. I think they had 1 hit, maybe.
Yep.
In that start. So, yeah.
All right, Tampa Bay Rays and Cleveland Guardians next up. We've got Shane Baz and Patrick Messick here on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland -115 home favorites, and the total 7.5 shaded to the over here in this game. Parker Messick, I should say. But Shane Baz, I can't back him. I can't. He's just has not been good at all. Just shelled in his last 2 starts. Of course, coming off that game against the Yankees where he gave up 5 homers in just 3 innings. It was a home run derby against him in that outing. 6 runs, 7 hits, 3 innings. Rays are a lousy 1-4 in his last 5 starts. That being said, Tampa Bay is the team that's in some pretty solid form right now, and the Cleveland Guardians suck. So as much as I can't back Baz and the Rays, there's no chance I'm taking Cleveland. They're terrible right now. They can't hit. They can't score a run. They've been shut out not once, not twice, but 3 games in a row for the Cleveland Guardians. And even their manager, Stephen Vogt, is starting to really, really get frustrated. Says, we just got to hit, for crying out loud. And they just can't do that right now. So what's going to give here? Baz, who's getting lit up, or this Cleveland Guardians lineup that just can't hit their way out of a wet paper bag? It's guesswork to me betting this game, and I'm not interested in doing that. So pass for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Messick, thought he was going to pitch pretty decent. I thought he was better than that against his first start there in Arizona. And I think he could be pretty good here, the lefty. Baz, that's just been the issue. I mean, he's just not right. But can the Guardians score any runs? I don't think so. There's still a few 8s out here. I think he's just, unless something's wrong with his arm, like, there's got to be a start here he can pitch better. Because I looked at this first 5 under between these two. Like, I think Messick, you might want to fade him his next start or 2. I mean, he's back here at home against the Rays team. Shit, it's hit and miss a little bit at times versus lefty. So I was looking at the first 5 under, but it was just 4. I really wanted the hook in this game. There's a few spots actually that there's really juice, like -130, but they're not there anymore. 4.5.
All right, next up, we got the Nationals and Yankees. Mackenzie Gore, Luis Gil, the pitching matchup here. Yankees -190, home favorites, 9 the total in this game. I'm running back the over again. Now, the Yankees were the main catalysts for it last night, 10-0 before the Nationals got a bunch of garbage runs in the 9th inning to make it 10-5. But I think it's going to be high scoring again. I mean, another favorable weather conditions kind of night at Yankee Stadium. Mackenzie Gore, not the ace I think the Nationals were kind of hoping he would be. It's been a very disappointing, uneven season for him. Struggled in his last start against the Mets. Home runs have been a big-time problem for Gore, and that's why I think this is a tough matchup for him. He's given up 6 homers in his last 5 starts. That's not good. That is definitely not what you want to see. Luis Gil, he's actually been solid here in his last 3 starts, so maybe some concern if the Nationals do some damage against him, but I don't like the home numbers nearly as much as the road numbers for Gil. And again, you're going to see him not really eat up much innings. 3, 4, 5 innings is all you're going to get out of Luis Gil. So you're going to see a lot of Yankee middle relief, and Yankee middle relief ain't great this year. Not what I've seen. So I think there'll be some chances still for Washington to contribute. So yeah, it's over for me here. C-Mac, Nationals, Yankees.
Yeah, I agree with you here on this over a bit, especially at least the 9 in this game, and it was moving earlier here, right?
Yep. Oh, 8.5 to 9, and now 9.5s.
There's a couple I saw a few,
Yep.
yeah, there. I just think Gore does get hit here a little bit by this Yankees team. Again, he's obviously pitched well better at home, but I think the Nats can get to him a little bit as well. The Yankees with the big bats finally woken up a little bit. I still think they do, but no way I could back this team. There's just the Nats. I think could have a shot here. I'm just saying, flat out. I think they around maybe the +1.5. People kind of like that in a 1-run game, but I think it could be close. Yankees, like when a team's that bad, the bullpen, even though it's spotty, it's been okay a little bit, I guess, lately at times. But when you just make that many errors, and I can't back a team at this price.
No, I don't blame you. I can't. So yeah, at the same
Base
time,
running errors,
up
the
to
whole
back
thing.
Nationals. Yeah, exactly.
No,
All right,
something
next
back to
up,
that, but hey, that's why the price is here, though. I mean, you're betting one team almost 2-1.
yeah. And as we
1
saw,
plus 175.
bullpen is really in a rough shape right now for the Nats, even more so than the Yankees at this point in time. All right, Twins and Blue Jays. We've got Chris Bassett and Bailey Ober, the pitching matchup. Toronto -200 home favorites, 8.5 the total. It's taken a month and a half to 2 months, and finally, for the first time that I can remember, Blue Jays are being priced like the second best team in the AL with an amazing home record. Finally, it's taken this long, and they're finally priced appropriately. This is where they should be against a team like Minnesota, -200. So they finally adjusted it properly. So I'm not betting Toronto now. They've finally adjusted the price the way it should be. But I'm definitely not fading them. Bassett has been better at the Rogers Center. His home ERA is actually very good. And he's kind of battling for his spot in the playoff rotation for the Jays because Toronto's got some tough decisions to make. They've got like 5 or 6 guys that are capable of starting in the playoffs for them. When you look at Gossman and Scherzer and tons of great options. And obviously now Shane Bieber back in the fold. I mean, it is going to be tough decisions, who you put in the rotation come playoff time. So Bassett and Barrios and some of these other guys, they're kind of battling, to be in the playoff rotation for this Jays team. So every start is important for Bassett. Ober is not my favorite, 5.53 ERA, but a lot of that in his last 5 starts. And Minnesota 0-5 in Ober's last 5 starts. They just don't win with him on the mound. That being said, he has pitched a little bit better, just not getting the wins to show for it. It's a pass for me. I mean, I could only take the Toronto Blue Jays here at home where they're just lethal, but finally they're priced appropriately. There's no need to go out there and lay -200. C-Mac, what do you think?
I think so too. I think they're going to score enough runs. I think the Jays team total here is the look, or in the full game over. I think it get there. This was one of the other overs I liked a little bit. And the Twins, I think they could get some runs. So if you want, just stick to the Jays team total. But I like them both. I think we're going to get plenty of runs in this game. Over, I just not on the road. Seems like a spot. The Jays at least get 5 here, 5 or 6. So, but like you mentioned on it, if you like the Jays, you have to go the run line or just keep it maybe the first 5 minus the half. If you really like that.
Let's not forget too, if you like the over, and I certainly lean that way, depth with the total, no question. The Twins bullpen is a shambles right now because they traded everyone away at the deadline. All their best relievers are gone. Griffin Jack's gone. Louis Varland gone.
Oh yeah.
Juan Duran gone. I mean, that was their 3 best relievers, and they're all elsewhere. And the bullpen really is bad right now for the Minnesota Twins.
Tough times. I mean, they got rid of everyone. Just gutted that team and.
Yeah, it's hard to have
tough times in Minnesota.
Yeah, hard to have a good bullpen when you got all the best relievers. All right, next up, we've got Philly and the New York Mets. What a win for the Mets last night, drilling this Phillies team. Now we got the Phillies with Luzardo versus Manaea. Phillies -115 road favorites, 8.5 the total here in this game. And how about the fact that they actually got to a guy that's had a great season in Christopher Sanchez? So got to give the Phillies the Mets credit. Yeah, give the Mets.
I was on the under at Gill.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. I lean Phillies here in a bounce back spot. I don't know what it is about Manaea. They just don't win for Manaea. 0-5, 6.66 ERA for Sean Manaea's last 5 starts. The Phillies got embarrassed last night. I think it's a nice spot for them to bounce back here. I trust Luzardo a little bit more. So Phillies is a short road favorite. Yeah, did bet a little Phillies here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this game could have some runs, too. I didn't expect that many yesterday. That was for sure in this one. But I don't want the Phillies at this price either. So this was off. I just had to lean to this over. I think in the end, with both these pens that I really don't love too, that this could sneak over.
I think it could be over too. I mean, the Mets are over or nothing for me with that bullpen right now.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
yeah.
By
the way, 4 straight Manaea starts have gone over, by the way. Each of Manaea's last 4 starts have gone over the total. This is the one that I think might be a higher scoring game too. Fott and Mizorowski here, Arizona, Milwaukee. Got Milwaukee minus 180 home favorites, 8 the total. Mizorowski's hit that rookie wall. I don't know what it is, but yeah, he has hit a rookie wall here. I think teams are starting to kind of key in on him, figure him out a little bit. Walks have been a huge problem. He's got 8 walks issued in the last 9.1 innings. 8 walks in 9.1 innings for Mizorowski in his last 3 starts, and he's been hit hard. He has given up 11 runs in his last 9.1 innings. So it has really taken a turn downward for Jacob Mizorowski after that strong start. But how do you trust Brandon Pfaadt on the road? I mean, here we go again. Brandon Pfaadt at home has been solid, believe it or not. His last 3 starts in Zona have been good. Solid. 2 runs, 3 runs. Not bad, giving his team a chance. But these road starts, Colorado, he got lit up for 4 runs, 8 hits, 6 innings. Detroit, 7 runs, 11 hits, 4.2 innings. His last 2 road starts. So that's where the issue lies for. And he hasn't had a good season overall, but in particular, he's had a real tough time on the road. 6.70 ERA on the road this season for Brandon Pfaadt. So at 8, I'm okay, clearly fine with taking over here in this game. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I always look D-backs bullpen, but I thought he got away with it early in that last start, but he's been better at home. And the Guardians just couldn't get any hits there in those first couple innings. The bases loaded, maybe the first 2. So he's a fade on the road for me. What's weird is ERA over 2.5. It's like minus 120, 125 at some spots. The Brewers team total first 5 over 2.5 plus 110. So I'm on that. As much as I want the D-backs pen, this plus money I'll take with them. I just don't trust Pfaadt on the road. Mizorowski, we'll see. I mean, he is a starter, but he's like the guy that would be perfect out of the bullpen, with just the heat he throws. Like he's got to get a couple more pitches here in the big leagues to work on, because I think they're
right now, and that's the problem. He only throws heat. He's got to mix it up more, and I don't know if he's got the arsenal at the moment to make it as a starter. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know too, and I mean, they're seeing him too. They always happen, some of these young pitchers that are so come up are really, really good, and then you see him again, they get the book out on him, and to get after him. So Arizona could score some runs too here. They think he's going to pitch well in this start, but I don't know.
All right, next up as we continue along here, we've got Kansas City taking on the Chicago White Sox. Michael Lorenzen and Martin Perez back in our lives again for the White Sox. Kansas City minus 120 road favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. There were years ago, Martin Perez, you saw his name, you just lined up and you faded him. Hasn't been nearly as easy to do that in recent years. And, when you look at Martin Perez, he's still, capable of, being crafty every now and then. And we saw that against Atlanta. He pitched very well, 3-hit shutout, 5.1 innings, his first start here with the White Sox. I know they lost 1-0, but you can't fault Martin Perez. He played well and certainly gave them a chance in that start. We'll see if he can continue to pitch well here in this game. Lorenzen on the mound here for the Kansas City Royals. Struggled in his last start, 4 runs, 9 hits, 4.1 innings against Texas. See if he can bounce back with a better showing. They have won each of his last 4 starts. So it's a tricky game, though, because Perez was good. Kansas City's kind of scuffling again, 2-4 in their last 6. And the White Sox have some mojo going. This Lenyn Sosa's breaking right now. Colson Montgomery, this kid has been spectacular for the White Sox, absolutely tremendous. And they've got like a little pep in their step going right now, the White Sox. So I think it's a very, very tricky call because Lorenzen's kind of a guy you don't know what you're going to get. Probably say the same damn thing about Martin Perez, but because Perez was so good in that first start against Atlanta, and Kansas City's bats again are kind of hit or miss, I'm kind of leaning to Chicago. I really don't want to get in their way at the moment. They're starting to play. They're one of these teams that they're going to be playing spoiler, maybe this last month of the season. And I like what I'm seeing offensively at the very least from them. What do you think here, Connor? Royals, White Sox?
Yeah, I'll be quick. White Sox. White Sox are nothing in this game. I can't back Lorenzen on the road or this Royals team with their bats. It's the Sox.
Yeah, I mean, Perez could go out there and do what he did to Atlanta, I think, to this Kansas City team, because Kansas City can do that sometimes, Even a guy like Martin Perez can go out there and shut you down. All right, Pittsburgh, St. Louis. We've got Mitch Keller and Andre Palante. St. Louis minus 125, home favorites, 8 the total in this game. I hate to be a broken record with, I don't love the over in the game we just talked about nearly as much, but this one I think you can make a case for an over here as well. I mean, it was 7-6 last night. Keller has not been good here in August. I mean, 11 runs in his last 7.1 innings. And I could say the same thing about Palante. His last 3 August starts, he's only given up 15 runs in 11 innings. That's spectacular. So, I don't know. The pitchers stink right now, and the total's 8. I'm playing it over. Simple as that. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know when I first looked at this, I was like, I think there could be runs. Of course, Keller, I mean, 5-12 this year, too. It sucks, too. Pirates, they don't give any other pitchers any runs. I mean, even with his ERA at 4, and how it's not the same guy on the road. Damn. Rough record. I think you just look at the Cards team total a little bit. As much as the Pirates, I think, should get to Palante. Them on the road, they haven't been very good at times. They just don't come through, especially with this lineup. Like Horowitz, come on. Reynolds is having a down, or Cruz is even worse. Holy shit. I mean, this year was awful. So, yeah, I look to the Cards, their team total.
All right, next up, Angels and Rangers. We've got Kikuchi and Corbin, southpaw battle here in this one. Angels minus 115, road favorites, and the total 8.5 here across the board. Patrick Corbin, I knew eventually he was going to hit the shits. I knew it deep down inside him. Like, he's not going the whole season without getting ripped at some point, and he's been ripped now 2 times in a row. Toronto just smacked him for 7 runs in 2.1 innings. And then Kansas City, we just talked about Kansas City can't hit consistently. Well, they hit Corbin all right. 4 runs, 7 hits, 3.2 innings. So Corbin's kind of a fade now again. 1-4 in his last 5 starts with Texas. I'm not the biggest fan of Kikuchi, but I could see him pitching well, and he's had some success against Texas in the past. He's at 2-1 in his 3 starts against Texas. So I think the Angels are favored on the road for a reason. I actually think the Angels get the job done here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, it's moving their way. I just don't love Kikuchi here much on the road. When I see it at this ballpark, I want the under. It's like, hold your nose here. Kikuchi and Corbin. Corbin's finally been, Corbin a little bit here, getting hit hard in the second half after he's just kind of going out there to basically quality start Corbin. First half of the year, it's like 5-6 innings, 2-3 runs. So, but it's Angels or nothing. But I really don't want to back either of these teams right now.
All right, this one I got nothing. I mean, what are you going to do? Tanner Gordon for Colorado and Hunter Brown for Houston. And Houston minus 360 home favorites here, 8 the total in this game. But Houston's obviously the only side I could look at. It's a leap of faith, and you're just hoping for, Gordon to be good and Brown to be bad and the Colorado lineup to hit on the road. You got a lot of things you're going to have to ask to go your way if you're going to back Colorado. But obviously I want no part of taking Houston at this price. They should win And Brown has obviously been very good. He's got a 1.5 ERA in his last 5 starts, Hunter Brown. So maybe a Rockies team total under, but yeah, no bet for me. It's a pass. C-Mac, Rockies, Astros.
Yeah, like when I was looking at this game, it's just like when I was rolling in MLB, I take the Rockies team total under 2.5 here. It's not crazy. It seems like things will go awry a little bit lately with baseball. But that's what I look at. I think Brown could be good enough, even though the Rockies playing better. I'd look to them back at home where they've been somewhat better. I got to give them that a little bit. And we know about me and the Rockies. So usually a team that I love makes me money. No bueno. We might have to skip Rockies until I get over my fear of them.
Yeah, blacklist them. That might be what we have to do.
Yeah, well, I blacklisted them. They started fucking winning.
Yes.
They ripped 3 straight. I'm like, all right.
That's when it gets really frustrating when that.
Well, tell me about it.
Yeah,
shit.
No question.
That's all I think about. It's like.
The Rockies ruined Connor Mack's life. That's going to be a documentary.
Well, yeah, I mean, I fucking hate losing. And it's just when you're off on a team and then the next day they win, it's just, drives you fucking nuts. I'm sure you know.
Because there's value with them in certain spots, but
yeah,
at the same time they fuck it up and then you leave them alone, and then all of a sudden they'll rise up and they'll win a game you don't expect. So yeah, welcome to the Rockies season. All right, West Coast action: San Diego, Seattle. We got Dylan Cease for the Padres and Luis Castillo for the Mariners. Seattle minus 115, home favorites, 7.5 the total. Nice win for Seattle last night over the San Diego Padres in the opener. I like this over at 7.5. I got 7.5. There's still some 7.5s. It's 8 in some spots. Note the weather in Seattle tonight. We don't normally think of heat waves and humidity.
There's a huge...
Seattle. But
hot up there. I know that. My family, they're like, it's hot as hell. And they don't have air conditioning up there, so it's dying.
Hot as hell. And that ball, I saw that game last night, parts of it. Flying that ball last night at T-Mobile Park in Seattle with the heat and the humidity and the wind blowing out. And it is again tonight. So I like over. And plus, as Cease is capable, Cease can be very good. Castillo, when he's on, can be very good. But right now, neither of these guys are pitching great. Cease has given up 9 runs in his last 8.1 innings. Castillo has given up 9 runs in his last 8 innings. Castillo has given up 6 homers in his last 3 starts. The long ball has been crippling him lately. And on a night where it's hot and humid and wind's blowing out, that can't be a good recipe for Castillo, a guy that's given up 6 homers in his last 3 starts. So I like this over 7.5. 8, I still like it. What do you think here, Padres Mariners?
Yeah, I was looking at it too. It was the 7.5 because I think you can still get there. And I think the Padres are live in this game. I know the Mariners have kind of had their number, and maybe this is kind of the Mariners, year a little bit. They made the moves. They did kind of lose there on the road. They've come back home and won some games. And I think they have the pitching, those young pitchers, especially if they can be at home in the playoffs here. Yeah. Man, that could really work for them because a little bit different guys on the road, basically all of them. And Castillo, one thing, he's been like solid all year. I've been waiting for him to get cracked around a little bit. Like, I mean, he's because he's been there for a long time. He's a very good pitcher, but he'd kind of been skating by a little bit between his command and his walks.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
So I think the Padres are a little bit live. I know the Mariners are here at home. This line's moved. So I think they're live. And yeah, I think there could be some runs, especially with the 7. This is a ballpark. You know me. I like unders in, but you're talking about it. When everyone's up there, like, it's so hot, I don't know what to do. They go to, when it gets so hot up there, not everyone, they go to hotels and shit because there's air conditioning there. They don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, that's true, Timmy. It could be one of those nights where it was 15 runs last night. It's only 4 tonight. But the thing is, the weather tonight is expected to be just like it was last night. Very hot, very humid.
Yeah,
wind blowing.
It could be a 4-3 game, though.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me.
No, it wouldn't. But the pitchers have been giving up home runs lately, too. And Cease gave up 2 to the Dodgers in his last start. So, like I said, I still think we've got a recipe there for some runs to be scored in Seattle. All right, Cubs and Giants. Matt Boyd, Justin Verlander, the matchup. Cubs minus 140, road favorites, 7.5 the total. I laid it with and I don't love road favorites galore in MLB, but I like the Cubs here. You know, I'm not trusting the Giants to hit a quality lefty. I'm just not asking them to do that for me. Cubs coming back off the road, but they've had a day off, you know, to get acclimated here. I think the price is reasonable enough to take the Cubs, and the Cubs now smell blood a little bit. That, you know, the Brewers haven't totally locked up the NL Central just yet. This little swoon that the Brewers have been on, you know, and now all of a sudden the Cubs are, you know, closing the gap.
Oh yeah.
The last little bit. So every game's important for them. Verlander is not like someone I'm lining up to fade, and he hasn't been terrible, but we've said this all year about the Giants with They just don't win with him on the mound. They don't. Even when he pitches well, they don't win. When he pitches horribly, they don't win. But the bottom line is when Verlander has pitched for San Francisco this season, they do not win with him on the mound. And last time he did get roughed up big time by San Diego. But I'm going to look at the overall numbers, and it is ugly. They have only won 5 games this year with Justin Verlander on the mound. And that's how many starts? Like almost 20, like 5-20, something like that. So it has been terrible for the Giants as far as their ability to win with JV on the mound for them. So, yeah, I'm on the Cubs here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Cubs just changed, and these guys started to hit a little bit after it just seemed like they couldn't get anything done. I mean, they take 3 or 4 from the Brewers, right? And then those games against the Angels, a couple of them were tight. One went extra innings, and I think the other one they won 3-2. They scored a run in the top of the 9th. I mean, those are big wins, big sweep there for the Cubs. And yeah, they're not that. I mean, what are they? 5 games back, I think,
they are
for the Brewers.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're knocking on the door again. Yep.
So Boyd's been actually, I don't know how the Giants hit him. I was like Giants team total under. It says a road start. The Giants kind of scored some runs a little bit. You know, when you look at it lately, playing a little bit, but I still don't trust them. So, yeah, I was looking at Giants team total under.
All right, Tigers and Athletics. We've got Charlie Oldman Morton and Osvaldo Bido for the A's. Tigers minus 125, road favorites, 11 the total. And this is another one of these deals here in Sacramento. Wind blowing out, and it's very warm. And that combination has been a big-time recipe for high-scoring games in this ballpark. So 10.5 is what it opened. It went to 11. It's pretty damn high, but, you know, it's over or nothing for me. In fact, I think it is a good over here with the Tigers and the A's. Morton struggled a little bit here in the month of August, had some ups and some downs. He had that one really bad start against the Angels, and home runs for him. You know, he's given up 3 homers in his last 3 starts. And then Bido has been really giving up the home run ball. He has allowed in his last 5 starting appearances, 9 homers. Not what you want to see. A lot of his games that he started for this A's team this year have gone over the total as well. So, again, definitely it's a recipe for a high-scoring game. Wind blowing out in this little bandbox of a ballpark they call Sutter Health Park here in Sacramento. What do you think here in this one, Tigers A's?
Yeah, he's pitched pretty good here, and after that start that he just had, I want to fade him here on the road. I think the A's score some runs. I think their team total is good here at 4.5, and I think they're live in this game to win again. Tigers just kind of getting by. I know Bida, he's not easy, and it shows all the props in this game, which is at 11, the total. There's some runs, but I still think there's value here with the Athletics and their team total in this game.
Yeah, the A's. What a showing that was last night for the A's. It just all of a sudden, it's hilarious. For just about 6 innings, Scooble was the usual self, and then all of a sudden the roof just caved in on him in the 7th inning last night. And then of course the A's ended up running away with it. All right, last game: Cincinnati Reds, LA Dodgers. Nick Martinez and Clayton Kershaw, the pitching matchup here. Dodgers minus 185. Minus 190 home favorites, 9 the total here in this game. I took a small shot with the Reds last night just because, they're playing decent baseball. They're battling for a playoff spot. Dodgers off the San Diego series, but all Dodgers last night, 7-0 over the Reds, and wouldn't shock me if they win 2 in a row here tonight because Clayton Kershaw overall has been pretty good, even better here at Dodger Stadium. Like, he has really pitched some good games here at Dodger Stadium of late. Back-to-back home starts where he's allowed just one run against good teams, San Diego and Toronto. Back-to-back home starts where Kershaw has given up just one run. So you like the way he's throwing it right now. He's got that curveball dancing right now. And he's got that curveball.
No, it's obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got.
And the older he gets,
yeah,
he relies on it a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, which I always talk about. He should have relied on it more in the playoffs when he would get wrecked a little bit. He relied too much on the heater and the slider. But he always says, especially back then, you throwing it more and a little bit better control, but he either have it or he didn't. And it was devastating back then, his huge curve. But he would just miss and he could kind of go away from it. Like, I'm throwing him in the dirt short and he'd back off and then it cracked in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, throw that curveball more. If he's throwing it like he is now, he should be throwing that curveball a lot here tonight. I would certainly stick with that. Meanwhile, we've got Nick Martinez for the Reds, who he continues to surprise. 2 runs or less he's allowed in 4 of his last 5 starts. The one anomaly being this Milwaukee game where he got hit hard for 6 runs in just 2.2 innings. The Dodgers are going to get now a second look in less than a month against him. They kind of struggled against Martinez in Cincinnati a month ago, but now you're going to get a second look at him. I don't know. Something tells me in my gut that Martinez might struggle a bit here tonight with the Dodgers getting a second look at him. So I would lean to Dodgers team total over, or Dodgers even, and I don't recommend run line a lot, but maybe -1 or -1.5 run line, because I'm not fading Kershaw in this ballpark right now. He's pitching quite well, got his confidence, got that curveball going in the strike zone and getting a lot of swings and misses off it. And when that is happening, that means you may want to avoid betting against Clayton Kershaw. What do you think here, C-Mac, Reds, Dodgers?
Yeah, it's just Martinez here on the road, because maybe the Reds could get a couple runs off Kershaw, but I don't want to back them here. I was thinking maybe first 5, but I think the Dodgers bats are starting to wake up a little bit. They're going to get going here. It was rough, about a month. So, and I'd look here, Freddie Freeman payoffs. We're going straight to Jack of the Day. Look to those 2 guys. I know he had 2 yesterday payoffs, but when he's been hot, that's when, he was hitting them in bunches. He kind of had, I think, 1 homer in basically a month, something like that. So, and same thing with Freddie. He gets rolling. Payoffs for around +475, Freeman +400. Jacks.
Yeah, for me, I'm really targeting the Detroit game quite a bit with the wind blowing out and the heat. Riley Green for Detroit.
Not a ton of value, but in those Jacks.
Yeah, Langoliers, Kurtz, Rooker for the A's. Yeah, I'm interested in all of those in that game. San Diego, Seattle could become a bit of a home run derby. Again, very humid and certainly conditions that point to wind blowing out. Eugenio Suarez, 2 homers against Dylan Cease. So Eugenio Suarez is definitely on my home run prop list tonight. Gavin Sheets has 1 against Castillo, and you can get him in the +600 range for San Diego. So that is definitely a value that appeals to me when I see prices like that. No question.
Both those guys. And even if there isn't a ton of runs, it's even like solo shots with those 2 pitchers. Give up homers.
No doubt, which they're both capable of, for sure, no question. Yeah. Schwarber has 2 against Manaea. Harper has 1 against Manaea. So there's a couple to Phillies that you might want to be aware of here tonight in those games as well. That's about it. But mainly focusing on the Tigers-A's game and the Padres-Mariners game for a lot of the home run props here tonight.
Real quick, I just didn't know if we get a ton of runs in the Braves Marlins, but there's good value. Guys that hit Sandy really, really well, Acuna, Albies, the price is really good. So look to them. I was looking at there if you're looking for Jacks there.
Good stuff. All right. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Shout out to the chat. Joey Moses, Robert Oliver Carlson, Timmy Tushu, Art P, Richard S, Daniel Abuna. Thank you to everyone here. Ross Pitts, Nick Alvento, GNL Photo, Goryan Ninkovsky. We thank everybody here, as always, joining us on the Hitting the Book show. Who else have we got here? Let me make sure. Thomas Maggio, Andrew G. Talk Sports with JT, Oven Fresh, Crystal Craig. Good to see Crystal Craig, Thomas Maggio, Stephen Hairston. Thank you to everyone. Like I said, great turnout again as usual here. Nate Dogg. Good to see Nate Dogg in the at the horse track on Saturday with Jimmy and the
Oh,
crew.
nice.
That was a fun time on Saturday at Woodbine. So good to see you there, and thanks for popping in the chat. But yeah, Saturday was definitely some fun times. Appreciate all you guys joining us. And one more time, we'll remind you to check out the college football hitting the books week 1 preview yesterday. If you missed it, I mean, almost 4 hours of previews. It doesn't get much better than that. So make sure you plan ahead if you're gonna or watch it. But like, you don't binge watch it. You just you watch it in pieces if you can't get through all 4 hours at once. But yeah, it was a long show, but it was great. Great previews and always fun talking college football. Like I said, that will be our longest show of the season. No question about it.
Yeah.
All right. It is time for best bets to wrap it up for this Tuesday. CMAC, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I've added a couple here. Give me the Twins, Jays, over 8.5. Runs in that game. Twins, Jays, over 8.5.
There you go. Twins, Jays, over 8.5. I'm going over the total with my best bet, which I normally do anyway, but I will go to a late night game. Just too low given the situation. Two guys that are kind of scuffling in the last couple starts, giving up home runs. Very humid in the Pacific Northwest. Let's go with that Padres Mariners. Over 7.5, minus 120. I think we'll see runs there once again with those two teams. So San Diego, Seattle, over 7.5. minus 120 for my best bet. That's a wrap. Appreciate all you guys joining us. Hit that like button on the way out. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we will be back tomorrow on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. See you tomorrow. Until then, class dismissed.